Good, we got that. Okay, we got that started. Come around. Go live. 3, 2, 1. And go live. All righty, here we are, ready to go and rock and roll, right? All right, today is Wednesday and part of the Kickstart Challenge. And today's menu item, main ingredient, I know it was listed Tuesday, and it's also today, it's a taco salad. Now, those peppers I made the other day are delicious. I would see if we can find them right here. I know you didn't get to see the stuffed peppers that I did. We've already eaten half of them. So how does that look? Isn't that great? Those are stuffed peppers. Now, you remember what we had in there was some fresh garden tomatoes, some zucchini, some mushrooms. We used a sausage. I used an Italian sausage with no sugar, by the way. A no sugar, no filler sausage, and that's really what makes the difference. The recipe in the program, or in that particular case, called for turkey, and you guys already know how much I do not care for ground turkey. So they are delicious, and serve those up with some tomatoes, fresh garden sliced tomatoes. That was delicious. So I still have that left over. One of the things about this Kickstart and these meals that we do is remember, recipes are a suggestion. This is not baking. Recipes are a suggestion. So, and once you understand the profile of some of the foods and how things taste by themselves, then you can start looking at combining and doing the things that you like. I don't like slimy okra, for example. So today, the main thing today is a low glycemic turkey taco salad. Now, I know a lot of people on here are from the Southwest, down Texas area. I am not going to pretend to tell you guys how to make tacos. That is just not my deal. I'm going to use, and it called for ground turkey. I'm not going to use turkey, again, because that's not my thing. But I am going to use a chorizo. I love a good chorizo. Now, do not buy the slimy tubes. I like finding packs, and I found one that doesn't have sugar in it. And so that's what we're going to use, chorizo that doesn't have any sugar in it. And so we're going to end up frying this up. But there's no sugar in it. It's 9% pork. Lean, and there is no sugar in it. No sugar. Okay, so we're going to use that. So let me get that started on the front here. Get that started here in the pan. There we go. We get that snipped. Go. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm already having a great day. All right, so we got the chorizo in there. I'm going to start it. It's defrosted, had it in the freezer, so this is kind of handy little dandy tool too. This little starred crusher flusher thing. So it's kind of a handy little thing for breaking this up. But I don't like a lot of the chorizos that's out there, especially some of the tubes, because you don't know what they are. This is pork and 0 artificial ingredients, 13 grams per serving. And how many servings does it says in here? About 6. So yeah, we're going to definitely get 6 out of here. So we're going to start that. Get that started. Got a little screen to kind of keep the splatters down. We're going to watch that. I started already making a stronghold. That's the first thing I'm going to do while I'm getting ready to go. The stronghold is a great, great, great drink. It's a supplement called Stronghold, and it's for building muscle, lean muscle. So I'm going to drink this before I have the fiber. So we got the meat started, and then inside here, I'm going to actually build the ingredients in the bowl here. I'll the ingredients in here, but I'm not going to add the lettuce right away because today I'm going to do my taco salad on romaine. I like a boat, if you will. So that's going to be my shell. I've got leaf lettuce to put in here to kind of build it, but really it calls in a large bowl. This is pretty bowl, isn't it? Mixed greens, cherry tomatoes, black beans, avocado, and then shredded cheddar. So I buy the blocks of cheddar and blocks of cheese because it doesn't have that filler in there. Okay, and so then I shred my own. It's less expensive. You also don't have that caking filler and some other things. Try to keep things as clean as possible. And one of the things we talk about here, guys, in terms of just a real quick reminder, is that we want to maintain our eating inside of a window. And so this will be the first meal I've had on the day. But when we start looking at one of the things that happens for people, one of the reasons we have such poor metabolic health is we're eating too often. Somebody got the crazy idea that it'd be good if we eat every 2 hours. Well, that does one thing. That gets your insulin high and keeps it high all the time. So the thing I'd like you to think about is we can control our eating. Okay, you can. We're going to continue that sleep fast. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you eat between the goalposts. And the goalposts to me is football season, right? And football, by the way, I mean American football, college, and NFL football, not the soccer football. Although in soccer football, European style and U.S. style, everybody else style, there are goals, but there's a net and it's on the ground. In Australian football, rugby, you've got the big bars, right? You've got the big posts. So when you think about it, move your timeline and eat and snack. If you're going to snack, do it between your two meals, the goalposts. Does that make some sense? So like 11 to 6 or 12 to 7, those two posts, that's kind of really what you want to look at in terms of setting it up. All right. And so we get eating too darn much. And one of the things that happens is that when you do, every time you eat, you can see how you spike that your glucose jumps up, especially if it's a carb. So if you have a malted coffee, you know what I'm talking about, the big old floofy woofy one, or you have that bagel or a donut, or you have some pretzels. Anything you put in your gullet is going to cause a spike. It causes chaos. And if you do that so many times in a day, you never let your insulin come down. And there's too much glucose or sugar in your blood too often, too long in a day. So what we want to look at is what can we do to manage this? Because you only have two energy sources, right? There's only two sources of energy, glucose and what? Fat. Now you want to burn your fat if you want to lose your weight and that type of thing, change your shape. Glucose has to be burned off first. You don't get to burn fat first. Let me explain that. If you go to the gym and just before you go to the gym, you pound down some kind of drink or take a little snack, or it's just a protein bar. If you say it's just you already made a mess. Because what's going to happen is you took that, you're going to work out, you have to burn that off first. You could be on the treadmill an hour, 2 hours. You may never get rid of all that, so you never got the fat burning. With me on that? So we need to get control of this side by not eating so often. And guys, I don't really give a left hanger or not about how many carbs or calories you eat in a day. That's not my big concern. It's when are you eating them? What effect does that have on our internal system? So that's really kind of the issue. So if we can get to where we have mostly burning fat, think of this 2 meals as our goalpost. Before that, we can be burning fat. After that, once we burned off the glucose from the 2 goalposts, now we're burning fat. Does that make sense? Because that's really kind of what we're looking to try to get to. So let me give them my little stir here. Starting to get it cooked in. Starting to get it cooked. All right. So it's coming along. And again, I'm cooking chorizo. You could use your beef. You can use whatever meat you like. And if you're a vegan, you're going to do a whole nother animal. You guys know who you are and what you're going to use. But we're going to use, this is a pork chorizo. It has no sugars. It has no fillers. That's why I'm using this, because I love it. I like this. I like making my chili with chorizo too. Chorizo, when I make chili, and then we'll be doing it later this year, when I do my chilies, I use chorizo, I use lamb, I use bison. I don't use any turkey. You guys already know I'm not going to do that. So one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to use some black beans. So I've got some black beans right here. I'm going to open that can up and drain them off. So I got this handy dandy little toy. So I'm going to take it and set it up over here. Another thing we're going to need for our taco salad is going to be tomatoes. So these are, the recipe calls for cherry tomatoes, but I don't have any in my garden. I've got Romas. We talked about those before. I love Romas. This one has a little bit of a issue on it, so we'll get rid of that. See how nice that comes off? Got it? Open this up. Cool. And a nice sharp knife does all the wonders in the world. So we're going to have these diced pieces of tomato, because they'll go in the salad, or they're going to go onto my taco boat. Now, did any of you make those peppers? I saw a bunch of you commented that you were going to try. I tell you what I did. Most of the time, people, when they make stuffed peppers, they put all the ingredients together, and then they bake it all. I like to pre-cook all my ingredients that go in there, other than, of course, the cheese, and have the meat done too. So really all you're doing is cooking the peppers. I don't worry about any raw ingredients when I do it like that. So see how nice these pieces of tomato are coming out? And see, the nice thing about aroma is it's not going to wet down your salad. I don't think anybody really likes a soupy salad. So you can see how these are all nice cut. See how that's already done? Cool. All right, so we got that done. Are you tired over here? Yeah. Nice thing about this can opener, this style can opener, guys, if you aren't aware, is it just opens up, and now I've got a nice lid cap. See how that works? So I'm just going to drain these out in the drain, but this can opener runs on itself, and this opens up that way. So I'm just going to let those drain off. So we've got some tomatoes done and ready, right? Cool. Now we've got to do it. We're going to do an avocado. Now this is starting to cook up now better, right? Good. And normally I like to cook when it's nice like this out on the patio with the burner on the grill, but I don't have all the electricity to be able to show you what I'm doing, so that's why we're in the house. And I don't have the fan going on because that extra noise would drive you all crazy nuts. You see how this is coming along now? See how it's coming along? Yep. Set that to the side, just a little splatter guard. Let's look at our avocado. So I've got a couple of avocados here. One of them looks like it might be punishing. So let me get my yours here. Now, I have one of the things is I love my daughter. I have a couple girls, and Alicia, I love her to death. She's my Texan right now. And yeah, see these, how they're just not good. Darn it. Just that's not good. This one I already know is not going to be good. I like this tool though, because it opens up pretty well, and you can see if you can get a slice out of it. Nope, that's not going to work either. Let's try one more. Let's see if we can get a good avocado out of this mix. Oh, I'm going to take a drink of my Stronghold. Now, the reason I'm going to drink this before I drink my fiber is because the fiber will slow absorption. I want this in and down. That's so good. All right, let's give this one. Avocado number 3. 3 times the charm, is that what people say? Let's see. Feels better. Let's see if we can scoop it out better. Yeah, it's better. Thing about this tool, I was telling you about my daughter, as one day she showed me a picture where she took a knife, God love her, and tried to get the pit out by stabbing it. Well, it slid off the pit and went right through her hand. She took a knife trying to get the pit out and went like this and went right through her hand. Yeah. So I bought her one of these tools. I said, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. I don't know if she uses it, but I bought it for her. Kind of like, you can teach them and show them, but that doesn't mean your kids are going to do everything, right? But yeah, she's a good cook too. But yeah, that was a skill set. It was like, whoops. She did it with enthusiasm. So luckily it didn't cut anything vital. It just went through. Okay, this is looking good. And see how lean this is? There's not a lot of oil. Look at that. See how lean that is? That's really, really good. A lot of flavor, a lot of paprika, a lot of cumin in here. And so in the recipe inside of the Kickstart group, it has all the spices in there. It calls for some cumin and some chili powder and garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste. I like just using the chorizo because guess what? I like the flavor already. I already know what its profile is. So if you know the profile of the ingredients you use, you can freely add them together because you know you're not going to make a mess in terms of your palate. So knowing your preferences, and that is a big deal. But being able to explore a little bit is also kind of fun. Now, again, the difference between cooking and baking is that baking is like a science. You have to follow the steps because if you miss a step, if you miss an ingredient, it's not going to rise. It's not going to do this. It's not going to do the other. Oh, this is a good one. Yay, say we got a good one. Yay for us. We got a good one. So now this little tool, see, I used to slice it, right? Then you go right in here and you go right out like this. And now I've got all these wonderful looking slices. See how those are nice, how those nicely come out through this slicer? Isn't that cool? So then we've got the tomato, we got the pit, and this pulls the pit right out. Oops. See that pit's right out? Just pop it out. Come in here again. The tool works great. Just go right on through. Pull it up. And there we are. More slices. So that's all done. All right. So now we've got nice slices of avocado and the diced tomatoes for the salad. And these guys are done as well. So I'm going to turn off the burner and just let that set for a second. Now we have the black beans. And we have those drained. So let's see, we have the black beans and they're drained nicely. Okay. And this would be if I was going to make it into the real salad. Then there's some lettuce that would go right in there. See, that'd be the lettuce, the tomatoes, and some of that. I'll probably do a little bit of it for you just to show you. But I'm also going to use the romaine hearts and actually eat it as a boat. I'm going to get the romaine heart out. I'm going to rinse a couple of these leaves off. So I get the leaves and I stop over here at the sink. All right, we got leaves rinsed off. Right there. I'll put some lettuce in here. You can chop, you can tear. Okay. There's a nice little tear. So we're making it as a salad. There's our base. Making it as a salad. We're going to do some layers. We just layer on some beans. Okay. Doing it as a salad, we're going to layer on some tomatoes. See how this is coming along? We're just layering it out. That's pretty. Put some avocado in there. Get that around. So we got avocado in there. And then, what else we got? Okay. And then we can take some of the chorizo, using a pork chorizo. Look how nice, look how little oil is in this batch. Isn't that something? That's 90% lean. All right. We'll put some of that on the salad. Just making one little salad here. All right. Got that. Got that. What else we need to put in? Oh, some cheese. Let's put some cheese on. Okay. So let me wipe my hands off again. Let's do a little cheese. So let's put this together too. Nice block cheese. Take a piece off. Set that there. Take another drink of my Stronghold. That stuff is so good. You got to try it. It has a pineapple flavor to it. So here's our little cheeser. You go to a fancy schmancy Italian restaurant and they're always going, would you go for some cheese? Yes, don't stop. So we're going to put some cheese on. See, a nice little cheddar. That looks pretty, doesn't it? And you want some sour cream? What do you guys think? Should we put a little sour cream on? We'll put a little on the side. How's that? A little sour cream on the side. Oh, look at that found. Woohoo! Some salsa, homemade salsa. Ooh, homemade salsa. So, some sour cream. We'll just put this on the side too. Now, most everything, and just so you know, most everything in my pot for this is for this meal is from Aldi's. Almost everything is from Aldi except for things that we have that are homemade. Okay. So here we go. Sour cream on the side. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments and critiques from my Texans down there, but that's what we're going to do. I'm in Illinois. I'm a Filipino, so I'm doing as best I can. Okay? And then here's some salsa, homemade salsa. And this is the hot one, I think. I think this is the hot version. Let me just look. Yes, this has some enthusiasm. So let's put a little bit on. Actually, just throw it in the sour cream. Try to dampen it up a little bit. Beautiful. All right. So we got that, Now we've got the salad bill. And then just for the other thing I want to talk about is that we're going to take and we're going to add fiber back in, because remember, the order of food is important. The order of food is very important because it is fat, eat in the order of fiber, fat, protein, and then last carbs. You see very few carbs here, do you? Don't you? Yeah, there's very few carbs. Why? Because you don't need them. You really don't. Your body's going to go ahead and convert the food you eat into the carbs or calories that you need or glucose you need. So fiber is going to fill you up. Now, they've been taking fiber out of our food for decades now to increase the shelf life. So because of that, I always take before a meal, I always take a patented blend of fibers called Balance. It's patented. It's listed as a nutraceutical in the prescriber's digital reference. So if you look online, pdr.net, you'll find that this is in there, is listed as a nutraceutical. And the great thing about it, the really great things about it, is that it has soluble and insoluble fiber. And it's really the only natural replacement for one of those cardiovascular drugs that a lot of people take. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say it on all the line, so sometimes I refer to it as Satan. But you know what I'm talking about. This is the only natural one. And it's even in the Cleveland Clinic, they said that if such a product given on a population basis would potentially reduce the need or amount of lipid-lowering drugs, just this right here. So this is, I'm going to drink this. I've already finished my Stronghold. I already finished my Stronghold. Now I'm going to drink my Balance, my fiber, before I go ahead and eat. I'm going to actually show it to you in a cup. So how thick this is. Look how thick this is. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? You can't get this kind of fiber at the store. You can't get it with the assurance of quality that you can get it with this. Why? Because this is patented. That's how I know you can't get it at the store. You can't get it at the store because it's patented. Nobody else can make this. We make our own. We are not private label. Oh, so I'm going to drink this. And what this fiber will do is help coat my gut, my lining. It'll slow down the absorption. And the soluble means that's the gel. And insoluble means it's like the broom. It moves things along, but it slows down your digestion. Okay? This is some good stuff. I'm going to make one more. So I got my salad made, right? Everybody sees how I got the salad made. I'm going to do one of my boats now. And as good as I finish this fiber. And yes, I have my name on my cups. All right. And now, just to show you how I build one of these, all you do is you take your boat, okay? And in this case, I am going to put some cheese down first. I'm going to put some cheese down first. Got some cheese in there. See that? Still had some left over in my blender here. Got that. So cheese goes in. Then I can put my meat on. Just building a taco, only using right there. See how that's coming about? See that I built that? Then let's put on some avocado. You know, when I have a BLT, I like avocado on mine. Yeah. There we go. And then let's put some tomato on. And bring this up a little bit. Make that a little snap. Bend it around. That's so good. So, there you are. A taco salad, taco wrap, using chorizo, using my own tomatoes out of the garden, avocado, some sour cream, and homemade salsa. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got learned a little bit today. I wish you well. Any questions? Drop them in the chat if you want to learn a little bit more about the protocol that I'm using that helped me lose a lot of weight. Helped me get control of my blood sugar, which was 834 with an A1C of 18.1. Helped get rid of my skin tags. Get me a 28-inch waist. Under the shirt, got kind of fluffy up. I got a 28-inch waist. Let me know. Drop it in the chat, and I'll get back with you. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for coming in. So good. How do I turn you off? There we go. And now, and stream.